Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. Today we are going to take a look at the final of this first round of Edel figures that they have sent to me here with the RV version of the Tyrannosaurus Rex. I am super excited to look at this with you guys. It's one that many people have been looking forward to. I think it's kind of right up there when it comes to importance, like the MV Rex. It's just something that so many people want to see. So here we are to take a look at it with you guys now. I think one thing that's something that people will take notice to straight away with this figure, and that it is a bit different from the MV version, is the fact that this Tyrannosaurus Rex does have lips. So when the mouth is closed, the teeth are hidden. So that's definitely really cool, something different from the casual Tyrannosaurus Rex that you more often see with the teeth kind of exposed and giving it that menacing look. This looks like it's a peaceful sort of a T-Rex until it opens its mouth, and then boy, do we ever have a different story being told then. But honestly, I think the sculpt of this one looks fantastic. I really love that they've done a more realistic version of a Rex, and then of course the movie version, giving any fans of either Jurassic Park or just in general scientifically accurate dinosaurs their option of choosing whichever one they would rather. So it does look super cool at first glance. Let's go ahead and get a closer look right now. So starting with the head sculpt, you can see that the head sculpt sports some beautiful sculpt and detail. Honestly, I think I actually might like the sculpt of this one more than the MV Rex, which is shocking to me because I am a huge Jurassic Park fan. But wow, does this look unbelievable. Look how much sculpt and detail has gone into just the scale work alone all over the head. So many different varying sizes of scales. It's honestly amazing to me. And the paint apps of this are just absolutely mind-blowing. It looks so cool. Everything on this looks super nice, really beautifully naturally applied, and it just looks really flashy but really natural at the same time. The eye is painted with a very nice yellowish color and a black pupil. It's also glossed realistically like a real eye would be. It looks really nice on this Rex. You can see, looking at him right here, he is staring straight forward at us like we would expect him to. The eyes are perfectly placed. Really nicely sculpted nostrils up there on the top of the snout. You've also got the lips, like I said previously, that run along the Rex here that do in fact hide the teeth from us when the mouth is closed. And then if we open the mouth, look how nicely sculpted and painted the inside of the mouth is. You can kind of see like a wash that's been added in there to give it just some varying color. Really nice gloss in there as well. Everywhere you can see, really beautifully sculpted tongue. In general, the inside of the mouth looks very nice, very realistic as far as the detailing goes, but also that really nice saliva-y look with the gloss coat that's in there. Beautifully sculpted teeth, all individually sculpted, and they also are individually painted with like an off-white to make sure they look as realistic as possible. Every angle you look at them from, they honestly look amazing. The skin flap, even on the inside of the mouth here, is just absolutely fantastic looking. The underside of the jaw also looks great. Really beautiful sculpt and detail down there. Really nicely sculpted scales on the top of the head. Look how nice those scales are. Again, so many varying sizes of scales. In general, the head just looks extremely muscular also, along with the neck. The neck is huge. Look how big and beefy that neck is. And then as we run down the length of the neck here of the Tyrannosaurus Rex, you can see the really nicely sculpted out scales and everything. Beautiful detailing down here in the throat, some nice skin folds as we run down into the arm area. You've got the very nice shoulder blades there, which again you can see just how nice the skin texture is if you get a nice close look. Beautifully sculpted arms, not as long as you saw on the MV Rex, because again, a real Tyrannosaurus Rex does not have arms as long as that one did. So I think the arm length on this definitely looks much more natural, much closer to what you would actually see on a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Really nicely sculpted out skin folds and skin wrinkling going on here in the stomach region. You can see the rib cage right there. Beautiful skin texture all over. Really nice scaling as you run up the body here into the upper side. You can see the very nice spinal column of the animal that runs down there, the hip bone as well. And again, really muscular looking thighs. Beautiful scaling on those as well. When it comes to the fine detailing of their figures, Edel Collectibles does not miss an ounce of that detail. Really nice kneecaps there. Beautiful calf muscles right here in the rear of the leg. Beautiful foot sculpt here. They look very bird-like, like all of these figures have so far when it comes to their predators. You've got the dew claws there. Nice paint variation all over the place. Once again, you can see like yellows and browns and oranges and everything everywhere. There is just not a single area on this figure that I can say is not painted to the max really beautifully. Again, you can see the nails are all painted perfectly, nicely glossed like they would be as well. And then we get up here behind the thigh area. You can see some nice scaling down here on the underside. Beautiful wash that's been included to bring that detail out really nicely. And then we run out the length of the tail. You can see just how nice the scales are. They are kind of like thicker, bigger scales up at the top, and then get to a more smaller, more fine scaling the further down the tail you get. And then it has a nice slight curve to it. Really realistic looking curve. Nothing that is definitely out of the realm of possibility for a Tyrannosaurus Rex, I would imagine. And the opposing side is, again, just like the opposite side. It's in a very neutral position, so you're not going to find too much as far as varying sculpt on this side as opposed to the other side, because, like I said, they come pretty much neutral when it comes to the positioning, so that you can decide exactly how you pose it and display it for yourself. And of course, that incredibly nice articulation does help with that fact. I did want to point out that Edel Collectibles has stated to me that this little area right here, as this part of the head sticks up a little bit, will be a lot smoother on the final release. Due to this being a prototype, it's not going to look like this on the final version. So this is just a prototype deal, and the finalized version will not have that. It'll be a lot smoother, a lot more realistic looking. Although honestly, me personally, I think it looks great already. I wouldn't even have changed a thing. But due to Edel Collectibles wanting to deliver the absolute best possible product, they are going to alter that and make sure that it looks much more smooth on the final release. But again, this side, like I said, it just looks great. The paint application, I'm a huge fan of this. I think the yellows and oranges and everything are all so nicely done. They beautifully transition back and forth between each other very naturally, very realistically. Nice light underbelly like you would expect to see, but beautiful coloration. I don't think anything as far as the coloration on this is too bright or anything. I think it's honestly all perfect. It really, really looks fantastic everywhere you look at it. And then again, as far as the base goes, this base is not finalized. This is just the base that is a prototype. It's been sent to me to display the dinosaurs on. It does look really quite nice though. You've got the footprint of the Rex, and I use this one back and forth between this and the MV Rex. But whatever the finalized base is, I'm sure it'll be much nicer than what you see here, due to it actually being painted and everything, and a little more professionally done, as this is just a prototype to display the figures on. But there will be a very nice base when the figure is officially released. So again, yeah, really, really fantastic looking T-Rex figure. So as far as articulation, just like all of the others, you've got the articulated jaw, which works perfectly. And boy howdy does it make such a beautiful image when you go from this very nice, peaceful, calm Rex to that mouth being open. It is instantly just like the type of thing that you've got to take a step back and stare at in awe. It is sheer beauty without question. But of course, you've got the articulation in the neck here in two different areas. So you've got about the middle area of the neck, and then you've got right here above the base of the neck, and it articulates really well, really smoothly. Beautiful articulation, and again, you can put it in any position you would like and have it stay in exactly that spot. Fantastic articulation in the neck. That is one of the best features, I think, of these Edel figures. But you've of course got articulation in the arms here. Really nice, really smooth. And then articulation in the legs, which mine are a little stiff because I haven't really moved them around too much. But it helps to make such cool images, such cool poses, beautiful display factor to these figures. And honestly, I love the articulation in this. It of course has the up and down, left and right articulation of the tail, which really works smoothly, and the base holding them up in any position you want them in is also fantastic. I also wanted to bring in the juvenile T-Rex here to stand next to the adult version and point out a few things that I think is really cool between the two. Of course, you can see that they are a very similar color scheme because they are from the same family, but the juvenile is a good bit brighter, I think, than the adult is, and I think that is really cool. Something that you would probably potentially see with a dinosaur around this age. It's going to probably be a little bit flashier, a little bit brighter. But then you have the older, more seasoned veteran adult here, and the color has faded a little bit, it's dimmed a little, and I think that was really cool on the part of Edel to do that. Such a very small little addition to these figures. You may not even catch at first glance, but I did pick up on it. I think that is really cool. And again, you can see them next to each other. They look really nice also. You can also kind of see that the striping of the juvenile is more vibrant, whereas with the adult it's kind of more jumbled together a little bit, but still looks really cool, but at the same time is maybe slightly faded in comparison to what you see on the juvenile here. So again, just very subtle differences, kind of the thing that you would definitely expect to see when it comes to an older and a younger T-Rex, and I think they did a fantastic job on the overall realism of these figures. Really, really beautiful work on the part of Edel, and I really did just want to point that out. Those very cool subtle differences, and also just show you how awesome these two figures look together, because they really look amazing next to each other. So as far as a size on our T-Rex goes, from the snout of the Rex to the tail, you're looking at about 14.5 inches or about 37 centimeters for a length. So it's a very large figure. And for a height, if it's in this nice neutral position where its head's at about a comfortable range, I think, for what a T-Rex would be, you've got about 6 inches of height to the middle of the neck there, or about 15, maybe 15.5 centimeters. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, and you can see that as far as a 1/35th scale figure goes, I do believe he is close in that size range, and these two actually size quite well to each other. If the Papo Rex could stand up and put his tail out, I feel like they would be pretty similar in size. So that should tell you not only that this Rex is definitely a good size figure, but it definitely follows right there in that 1/35th scale size range. For another size comparison, there is the MV Rex next to the RV Rex, and you can see that they are pretty much the same size. They definitely scale up really quite nicely to each other, about what you would expect to see, and it's just in general cool to see the two of them together here next to each other. In 1/35th scale, I think they are both fantastic looking. This Edel Collectibles 1/35th scale articulated RV Rex is great. Everything about this, along with every other of these Edel Collectibles figures that I've looked at with you guys, everything is fantastic. I honestly can't complain about anything when it comes to these figures. I think as far as the sculpts go, they are really highly detailed, beautifully sculpted. I specifically think that as far as the fine detailing goes, this Rex might be my favorite, just because the head sculpt is just so beautiful looking. I can't help but to stare at it with kind of hearts coming out of my head. I just love it so much. The Carnotaurus is my favorite overall when it comes to these figures, just because I am a huge Carnotaurus nerd. But man, this RV Rex is just fantastic looking for sure. I think this sculpt on this looks so beautiful, and I love that they changed things like the arm length and everything, and the skull shape to really resemble a more scientifically accurate Rex, as opposed to the movie version that they had with the other one. There was no laziness at all when it comes to creating this figure. They didn't just recycle the MV Rex and change a few things on it. No, they completely resculpted everything, and I think that was super cool of them, and definitely shows that Edel Collectibles isn't just out to impress, but they are out to make us happy and make sure that us as fans get exactly what we want, and that is definitely what I see here with all of these figures overall. But this Rex is so beautifully sculpted, so beautifully painted. I am a huge fan of this paint scheme, along with every single paint scheme on all of the figures so far. But the colors on this are so natural, but so flashy at the same time, that it just somehow looks absolutely amazing. The color scheme of this is honestly just breathtaking, and I really am, like I said, a big fan of everything on this. The sculpt, the paint, the articulation is just off the charts. Everything on this is fantastic. I love how smooth the articulation works as well. Every single position that I move this Rex into honestly looks exactly like it should for the position that it's in. Beautiful, beautiful articulation. So much better than most figures when it comes to their articulation, as far as making sure that no matter what position it's in, it looks natural. Edel nailed it everywhere when it comes to these figures and the way they articulate. So if you are interested in this Rex, I will include a link in the description to the Edel Collectibles Kickstarter, because if we don't get the funding, to Edel Collectibles. As I said numerous times, we will never have a chance to actually all own these figures, because without the funding, they won't be able to actually produce the figures. So make sure you check the description, head over to the Edel Collectibles Kickstarter, and start funding some of the dinosaurs that are currently on there. So once we get those funded, I believe this one would be one of the stretch goals at some point. As soon as it gets funded and the figures are produced, you can then own these unbelievable Edel Collectibles articulated dinosaur figures. So again, check the description, head on over there and start funding figures. But before you do that, don't forget to please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of any future videos, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.